Here we have Miss Kobe. You know, sometimes in the course of hair experiments, we have little mishaps. She has really coarse hair, and we attempted, her and her mom and I attempted to grow Miss Kobe out long, and we have a terrible time with the texture of it just matting. So today we're going to cut her down and do some very gentle dematting. So here's a quick few minutes just to show you how I do my gentle dematting with minimal pulling on the dog's skin, which can be, you know, a little discomfort for them. And there she was saying, you know, don't pull too hard on those mats, and I respected that. So what I'm doing is comb under the mat technique. You always want to know where the skin is. You don't want to have any accidents. So you take your comb and you clip the cap off, as it were, of the mats. See, I know exactly where the skin is here. I'm trimming off excess hair coming out over the mat. So everything that you see me working on, all the legs and her underbelly, were matted, and she mats up just very quickly. So this is my old shears, actually my first pair of grooming shears from my mentor. I still hang on to them fondly, and they are actually quite workhorses, so I use them for prep work. And so that's trimming the armpit hair, some mats out of there. It's very painful to pull on those. So I just use a number 10. Here's a flexible dematting brush. One side has a black background, and it has fewer tines on it, and the other side has more tines. So you start with the black side to start teasing apart the tangles. And here I'm using Easy Groom, Easy Glide dematting spray. This one's a heavy silicone that I only use before a bath because it can build up in the coat and kind of make it look greasy if you use it after. You always want to make sure the mats are out before the bath, unless you have something like a really, really neglected dog that is, you know, filthy. Then you do run them through the bath and try to wet shave with them a bit damp. But anyway, here's the comb under the mat, and I'm going to scissor the cap of it off. I'm actually able, this is a thinning shears, and you're actually able to save some of the length. The hair won't be as full because you're taking some healthy coat with it, but able to save some length. I was able to use an A guide comb on there, which is I think a little more than half of an inch length in the end. So here I am fully aware of where her skin is on that leg. I know that's all excess hair, so I'm just removing it. Don't need it, and it kind of takes the cap off of the mat. Makes it a little easier to start dematting it. I'm going to grab the dematting comb, dematting brush. This one is made by Artero. There are other brands that I like just as well. All Brothers is one. Metal comb, found an armpit mat. Going to take the cap off with the thinning shears. That's my very first thinning shears. It's about 27 or so years old. Another good old reliable comb. And here's where I show you, this is how you take hair out of a slicker brush. Just use your metal comb. And so gently, when you use a slicker brush, it's more of a pat and pull, so you're patting it onto the hair and then pulling out instead of, you know, scraping along the skin. And Miss Kobe loves to give kisses. She's a very, very good patient girl. Some dogs won't tolerate this. Even minimal pulling on their skin is just far too uncomfortable for them, and then we just end up zipping it off with a shorter clipper blade and starting over. So here I'm cutting more of the mat apart, and I'm going to come down to the right to the comb and do some thinning shears to help release more of the hair. And then I'm going to grab, gotta do some more. But then once you do, you know, the scissor under your thinning shears technique, you should be able to come with your dematting brush and work some of those apart using line brushing. And I'm just going to go right on down the leg. This was one big mat. This is a very common area for matting because they kind of tuck their legs under when they sit down, and it kind of scuffs the hair. But she is a Shishan She's part Shih Tzu and part Shishan, or part Bichon. So Shishan. And she ended up with the coarse Bichon hair of the guard hairs. And so in her instance, those guard hairs like to grab all the undercoat and just really tangle. And it's not a necessary thing of like long time neglect. This is only 3 weeks, and Mom has been working hard trying to keep it in check. But it's just not a coat that's very agreeable to being full length, and that's okay. She looks really cute, as you will see, in a medium length trim, and Mom can keep up much more easily with that. So here I am, more thin shears over the comb, breaking up a mat. And dematting brush. All the noise in my background. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm not very good at my videographer skills, but I'm trying to get there. So now I'm kind of line brushing. Find another mat. I know exactly where the skin is, so I'm not cutting into the skin. This is line brushing. You can see that I'm holding the top of the tangles with my thumb, and I'm coming underneath with my brush. And I've said this area of hair is unnecessary. That's splicing. Do not do that at home. That's breaking up this big chunk of mat into little parts, and then I can brush away the tangles. And there she is, all done. She's so cute. Good girl, Kobe.